Which, by the way, not to bring up a really bad subject, here's a question I have for gun owners out there. Because now, liberals are flipping out, as they always do, whenever there's a school shooting. Liberals want to take the guns away. People on the right say, that's you guys idiots, that's not the problem. All right? And meanwhile, not enough people are saying, is there a reason that CNN and Fox News, other than their own diabolical going after every nickel they can, sensationalize these things? Because they're not reporting on it. They're not doing anything about it. It's like, maybe if you stopped, this wacko chick is, I went to a diner today. I buy like a New York Post. I'm old. I read the paper, right? And this lunatic is on the front page. And you have to understand that when you do shit like that, the same way some kid that plays a little bit of hoop watches the NBA, he wants to get in the NBA. Like, shooting up a school is the NBA for fucking psychos. So stop showing them that they're going to get all of this fucking attention. There's got to be something to that, because my whole life they've had these fucking weapons. And somewhere along the line, that Columbine thing happened, and ever since then, people just fucking do this shit. But here's my question. Whenever they say, hey, let's take away these assault rifles, and you can still have your guns, just take away the assault rifles, but blah, 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 blah. And that's not what they do. What they do is they talk about gun owners like they're fucking morons. Classic, what both sides do. They start their argument off by insulting the other people, which makes the other people completely closed off to the argument. So here's the question that I have as someone who doesn't own a gun, but actually likes guns. It's just my ears, I don't think I could handle. It's a skill. They're fun, and when they're handled correctly, they're amazing, and you can defend yourself from a fucking lunatic, which makes a lot of sense when you live in the middle of nowhere. Like I've said, you're on your own out there. So I understand that. But my thing is, when they sit there and they go, we'll make it harder to get these assault rifles and blah, 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 blah. The argument with people who have guns always seem to be like, so then what? Only the bad people get guns? Right? Which I understand that to a certain extent. But when I look at this fucking idiot who shot up the school out in Tennessee, I really don't see, if she can't go to a fucking Walmart or some local gun store to buy this shit, I don't see that fucking wingnut being able to navigate the dark web and somehow get Henry Hill to show up to her fucking doorstep, half coked up with a bunch of handguns where the silencers don't fit them. So that's my thing about that, where if you make it harder, I still think decent people could pass all those fucking tests and still have their guns, but these fucking mental midgets, won't be able to just waltz in and somebody's standing behind a fucking counter at a Walmart at a gun store. They're not a psychologist. That's not their fucking job. They're not, they're not going to be able to figure out that any more than I could. So that is my question. Like, would if they made it just a little more difficult, but you could still, but you as a sane fucking person could still go out and buy whatever gun you wanted. Does that work? And I'm completely ignorant of the whole thing, but I was just curious to that because, it's funny, liberals were saying they want to ban books, but they don't want to fucking ban guns. And then people going like, fuckhead, we want to ban pornography and shit like that, And then there was some of that gender identity shit in there. This is a whole nother fucking can of worms. But I also respect people if they go, hey, man, listen, that's my fucking job. I will talk about sex and gender identity and all of that with my own kid. I don't want you guys doing it, which I got to be honest with you. I understand that argument because I remember health class where they taught you about sex and all of that shit, when they were just doing the mainstream, regular old, all they talked about was heterosexual shit, and they were even fucking that up. It was the lack of fucking information. They would, this is your body, so this is how it works. Da, 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 da. They should have been in there and be like, listen, you can get a disease. You could knock somebody up and ruin your life. All right? This is, this is what love is. This is what you should be looking for. This is how you break up with somebody. Like, there's like so much more that they could be talking about. And to leave it up to them, I don't know. They're probably going to fuck it up anyway. But I understand both sides where people with gender identity shit are like, well, we would like to be considered mainstream enough to be talked about in a public fucking school so kids who are going through that don't feel alienated. So I understand that. I can basically kind of understand everything. And I wish everybody would be like, hey, I kind of understand anything. Let's fucking try to find a middle ground instead of just hurling insults at each other on social media. How about that? Did that work at all on any law? Of course, my fucking agent calls me now. Can't call me. I do a fucking podcast. I never talk to this guy. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, I got to take this. God damn it. No, he hung up. Now I don't have to take it. Anyway, so that's my main question about the gun thing, is if you could still get, all those assault weapons and all that shit that you want to get and everything, but they made it a little more difficult just because that person seemed pretty fucking simple. Like that person, as far as like trying to navigate a more difficult world to get that gun, kind of seems like she would be like me trying to navigate GarageBand and would flip out and get upset and then say, fuck computers, and maybe walk away as opposed to doing that. And then it would be nice if CNN and Fox and the New York Post and all these fucking newspapers wouldn't use these horrible stories to try and make more fucking money. These are the same, too, who come after stand-up comedians about jokes. And meanwhile, they're profiting off of school shootings. Oh, am I on my fucking soapbox? And maybe I shouldn't come at them like that. I should ask them, all right, anybody out there in journalism, do you think that, like, one of the things contributing to this idea that crazy people now have to go in and do that is the amount of media attention that it gets? Is that too simple a fix? It probably is if it came from my simple brain. I don't know. Anyway, let's get back to my simple life. I'm going out on the road. Actually today, when you listen to this, I'm going out on the road again, chicka boom, boom, boom. And I got a run of dates. I'm going to knock them out, and then I'm going to retire, and that's it. No, that's not the truth, but that's what I want to say someday. Not even retire. I just enjoyed hanging out, being with my family and stuff. They're friggin' awesome. Making breakfast every day, driving them to school. I would take both my kids to school, and they would be, arguing about the radio and shit. It's kind of fun. And the other night I got into it, got a little back and forth with my wife. My daughter was going, I don't like when you guys squabble. That's what she said. And I said, well, it happens. It was like you and your brother were squabbling about the radio. She goes, no, we weren't. I was like, yeah, you were. It happens. I'm going to work on it. I know, Dad, my daughter always gets on me going like, Dad, why do you always say the bad words? And I'm like, I don't always say them, but I do say them a lot. I try not to say them. And she's like, why do you say them? And I said, well, I grew up saying them. I've been saying them a long time, so it's hard for me to stop. And I don't know if that works, but like, she told one of the kids at school that I say the F word all the time, and it's my favorite word. Fortunately, I'm friends with that other kid's parent, so, she told me and Nia that, and she was laughing and thought it was funny. I was just like, oh, brother. Oh, Jesus. Just failing right and left here. So anyway, plowing ahead here. Oh my God, the fucking the New York Yankees. I read the Post this morning, and they were going on and on. They got this new fucking shortstop coming up. And as a Red Sox fan, I'm just sitting there like, really? Like, here we go again. I mean, it's just it's an unbelievable I hate to say it as a Red Sox fan, it's just a fucking unbelievable franchise. Like, here they go again. Their fucking scouts have been crushing it. It's over a century now.